So it looks like all of the pieces are starting to align itself now that Kane basically figured out that Lorenzo was the one to have killed Zeke, and
Had to be somebody in the family. But the one thing I cannot figure out is why. You got
it
me all
kind of just
fucked up,
proved
Kane.
everything that Kane is technically ready for the throne. As when Lorenzo was trying to tell Kane at the time, he was like, "No, you're not ready," and he was trying to push Zeke. I mean, not Zeke. He was trying to push Drew, but Drew isn't not. He's not there because it's like, yeah, he's still hooked on Everett, while Kane is like, "No, I am ready," and he was the one that figured everything out because he was like, "You was the one that paid the guap to, you know, beat up on Drew for a little bit, and then." Try to set this whole thing up in motion. It was a very quick motion to try for him to set it up to be like, well, he was the one to have done everything, but it wasn't. So now it does make like an interesting point where it was in one of the trailers where it seems like he will probably tell Monet about it because Kane is gonna be too big for his britches where he's gonna be like, well, I technically own you now, and I can basically command you at any given point in time. Because as we seen at the end, where he basically gave him the drugs, he was like, "Listen, now I own you, so now you're gonna do what I say." But he's gonna get from under it, and he's gonna be like, "Well, I'm gonna have to tell Monet about this." And I think that's when she's gonna be like, "Well, you gotta leave town, this and that," because she's gonna be devastated about it. So, I mean, for the impending death of Lorenzo Tejada, it seems possible. It does seem possible after all of this. Now, going over to like Sax and Davis, it was kind of funny how Davis was screaming out Sax. Like, you hear that old man voice, Sax. It's kind of crazy because Sax is, this like information that he's trying to dig up and trying to like put together. And we seen too where he was sneaking into Davis's office and he had like the phone and he was like, oh, it links to like Monet. Because you seen like in the parts where it was Detective Whitman and he was trying to like see what's going on with Monet. He's like, yeah, I got you when you was there at you was at Carrie's house and it pushes you there, and Zeke went to go talk to me before he died about this. So trying to like tie up everything. So it's crazy because you got Jenny and Blanca. They putting everything together. Like, okay, Ramirez was sleeping around with Monet and also working with the Tejadas. And they trying to put it as Monet is the queen pin. And I guess Tariq is, the kingpin of it all in a sense. But it's like, that's sort of not true. It's sort of because she's not involved in any of this. Like in season 1, season 1 and partially season 2, sure, but she's not involved now. She doesn't want any part of it. It's mainly technically Tariq, Brayden, Kane, Effie. That's mainly them, and she has nothing to do with it. So I'm kind of wondering how this is gonna work because they like, nah, she's the queen pin, and they're like, nah, we definitely we're going to try to bring everybody down and pin this as a RICO case, or a RICO charge. But I'm like, I don't think so. But I like that in the beginning that we did get to see how Effie failed. Effie basically failed to kill Lauren, so she knocked her out and then just, had her strapped to the car and then pushed the car into the river. But then somebody seen and was like, oh, it was a failed attempt on her life. So I guess we get to see more of that. But again, Jenny's trying to build this whole case to like bring down everybody. But I think that what's going to happen and how Jenny's plan is going to fail, I think that Lauren is going to probably get tired of being held somewhat hostage of everything, and she might escape. I think she probably might escape, and then she might see Tariq, which is gonna be, oh my god, it's gonna be a big mistake. I think she's gonna probably visit and see Tariq, and then Tariq's gonna be shocked, like what happened, because I think this is gonna be when maybe if Effie and Brayden, when they finally tell him the truth about what happened that night. But it's going to be a shocker because she might appear in front of Tariq and try to figure out what's going on and these answers as to what happened. And he's going to be like, wait a minute, she's alive. Then that only means one thing, that, listen, everything's going to come apart. Everything's going to come apart once when he sees her and he's like, wait a minute, that means you was alive. That means Jenny, oh, hey, we all be in Target. So that means they're going to have to figure how they're going to, someone's going to have to take the fall for this. Some crazy shit, like, I'm just thinking about it all, like, some crazy shit is going to happen, because I feel like she's not going to stay there for long, because she wants to see her parents, she wants to live her life again, but Jenny's like, no, you gotta stay here because we definitely gotta get Tariq. But I mean, for Jenny to say CI, it's like I cannot see Sax as the CI because Sax is a snake. He's not even a CI. He's just a snake. I mean, I guess you could say that's what a CI is. That's their job, is being snaky. But he's like, no, man, because you see Jenny doesn't give a fuck about Sax. She's playing him. She's literally playing him just to get information. And then once if she tries to succeed with the plan, she's gonna get rid of Sax. Like, no, I mean, and he's too blind to see that. And I hope that in the story and in the future episodes to come that he's gonna realize, like, come on, you playing me, like, and he does the right thing, and that's save Tariq. or at least he gets found out by Davis, because it's like they trying to put everything together to bring down Tariq and Monet and the whole Tejada and everybody, but I don't know. I think it's gonna fail. But only reason why I say it is like, Warren, Tariq, and the Tejadas and everybody, is because, this season is going to get crazy and they trying to do everything that they can. But I kind of like how Diana still has, like, feelings for Tariq. I like how she still has feelings for Tariq. But the thing is, it's like, Tariq is with Effie and, she's this new guy. He's trying to, like, hey, sweet talker and this and that. But I don't know what his role is going to be in all of this. Because I feel like he might just be, like, in an effort where he's going to know about what's going to happen. And, well, then again, he's not on a basketball team. So it's not like with Everett where he's like, oh, I'm leaving, I'm gone. But this guy, I think he might die. I don't know. I think he might die because it's not like he's going anywhere. So, and also, too, they have to figure out, well, they're already putting, like, into motion of, selling the drugs and Wall Street and all these different firms and people in the building, to try to, like, make up as much money as possible, which is definitely working. But they still have problems because you have Blanca, you have Jenny, you have Snaky Sax, you have Whitman, and they all trying to, like, come after everybody to try to, like, put this out there. Like, yes, Tariq and Monet, or the Queen Pin, and I guess Prince or Kingpin, or whatever you may call it, are the ones that selling all these drugs. But I don't think they're gonna figure out the name, because that's the thing. If Mecca was working with Blanca, and and he was basically the informant for her, she doesn't even know that. Well, technically, because Mecca was all right. Even though Mecca was where he was in season 2, but you gotta give it up to the man. Even though he's dead, but you gotta give it up to the man. The man has secrets, and he technically had a backup plan because he didn't tell Blanca anything about Noma. He didn't say anything about, like, oh yeah, we was this and that. He didn't say anything. It was just that the plan was gonna be he gets Monet and Zeke, leave the country, but then I guess give Noma up and be like, oh yeah, she's the one controlling everything. All right, peace. Like, I think that was gonna happen, but Blanca doesn't know anything. So unless she goes back on her notes, maybe to figure out, okay, what was maybe Mecca was doing, or like something, like she would have to go back and maybe her notes. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, eventually that name might come up and be like, oh, Noma. But again, it's gonna be a lot of work to build up for them to even get the name out and be like, oh, who she is. This is who Mecca was working for. I mean, you could put the blame on her that she killed, but it's like, because like I said before, somebody in this season, and like y'all even said in this season, somebody needs to be jailed. Somebody has to get jailed instead of like, oh, dead, that's it. Like, no, because they need to pin this on somebody. So, but the thing is, our guys, our main characters can't be involved in that if the person is going to get jailed. So you got that, and then you got Rashad Tate being Rashad Tate. But the interesting thing that I've kind of like pointed out and seen was that Brayden was making moves behind Tariq's back. I'm like, wait a minute, Tommy never did this. Tommy never did any of this to Ghost. I'm like, you see Brayden making moves like, oh yeah, I got this woman in, she's his intern. Got her as the intern. Booted out Tariq. He's like, yeah, man, just don't tell Tariq that. He said, man, the West has been a good compilation. I ain't gonna say nothing. Like, I'm like, oh, what, like Brayden? you making moves. Oh shit. Like that's like the thing that kind of like caught me off. I'm like, Brayden is making moves behind Tariq. I mean, it's basically, it's something what Ghost would do, because it's like, we seen what Ghost would always, we already seen what he would do, but it's crazy because he kind of like manipulating Tariq, like not in a bad way, but just moving him forward, where he's like, oh, you see, we could sell the drugs in the Western company, like, you see, and he's showing him all of this without like Tariq, because Tariq was against it, but since he's showing him like, yo, this is what we doing, Tariq was just like, all right, I'm on board, like, you got me. But it wasn't like a bad manipulation, it was like a good manipulation. But it's like, this is crazy, because I'm like, Tommy never did any of this, not to my memory. I'm like, Tommy didn't do any of this. But I'm like, okay, that right there kind of like shows, I guess you could say, the differences between maybe Tommy and Brayden, just except the killing part. But yeah, he's slowly like doing certain things that Tommy wouldn't do. So I'm like, I'm on board for it. But I just can't wait until we see like the showdown between, like, I guess Brayden and Tariq, to be like, okay, what happened that night? Because you see Brayden was talking to Effie, and he was like, yo, we gotta tell Tariq that what we did. She like, we keeping that shit taking that shit to the grave. Like, we ain't saying nothing about that night. Be like, come on, man, stop playing. We gotta tell him. So I thought it was great. I can't wait for the next episode. Next episode is just gonna be crazy, man. But drop all your comments and your thoughts down below on what you thought of this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And yes, I will catch you all in the next one.